At last few hundred feet, are we getting rotation there? Because if we're getting rotation there, then we're going to have a tornado making its way to the ground. Again, we do not have a confirmed tornado currently on the ground, correct?
Correct.
Okay, but this storm does have a history of producing tornadoes just to the southwest. I know it looks really messy. Good job here. We're tracking it out. So heads up to you in Heavener. You got a little bit of time, but not a lot. 636, storm's moving around 50 miles per hour. Zoe around 626, Big Cedar 620, Muse around 610, and Ludlow around 557. So that is right now. This storm is on top of you, and it is moving your way. We're tracking the storm into Flore County. That's Scott County. Heads up to you, Mansfield, Greenwood, Sebastian County. This storm's going to be rolling through your area in the next 30 minutes. It's going to be getting pretty close to crossing state lines and heading on in. I mean, it's real messy. Hard to say for sure. That's where that rotation would be. Maybe where you're getting that spot right there. Potentially it. That's where, now let's go back and look at velocity. I'll hold my finger on right there. We'll see what velocity says. We're a long ways away. Again, that's where that rotation would be. If we were getting tornado, it would be right down here just to the southwest of Ludlow. So in southern Flore County, if you're watching us, if you can hear us this morning, heads up to you. Highway 144, potential tornado is moving through your area right now. You got to get into the centermost point of your home, your office building, wherever you are. Get the furthest away from windows as you can. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. So that way, if worst case scenario, you do take a direct hit from some strong straight line winds or a tornado, you can get as much cushion and padding between you and the outside as possible. You've got time, no excuse here in southern Flore County. We're giving you as much heads up as we absolutely can that a potential tornado is heading your way. The storm has a history of producing tornadoes. You have not had any storms. This is untapped environment here that easily could continue to spin up some tornadoes for the next couple of hours. We're in that peak time right now, late afternoon, early evening, where you start to really get concerned on these kind of days.
Zach, we got a confirmed tornado located within that tornado warning. That is confirmed by radar. Looks like this is going to continue out until 6:30 still, but that signature that we were just looking at has now been confirmed.
Okay, there you go. There you have it. This is what we do. This is why we're on here. We've gone to school so we can look at these radar images. We can break down what's happening within these storms. And that's where the rotation is. That's where the debris signature was showing up. So again, a storm that has a history of producing tornadoes. Looks like it is now producing a tornado in southwestern Flore County. Heads up to you in Heavener. This storm is heading your way. Go ahead and take it. If you can go ahead and redo this and zoom out just a little bit, leave it on this storm, and let's take this track even further into Sebastian County. Let's take it, and it's hard to tell, storm, if it moves probably along this way. Take it up towards southern Sebastian County. Take it towards Mansfield and maybe even Greenwood if we can get far enough out. All right, that's good. Heads up to you, Octavia right now, 611. It's 559. Zoe, 632. Heavener, 643. Poto, 656. Greenwood, 728. This storm is tracking your way. It is moving into 5 country. We've been tracking it since it was in North Texas. These storms have a history of producing tornadoes down near Paris, Texas. They've been tracking this way. Latest speed on this, have they updated any of that information, Stephen? Is it still roughly around 50 miles per hour?
Yes.
Okay. Again, a lot of lightning with this storm. It looked like it had kind of ticked down a little bit, and look at the lightning pulsing back up, even the cell back towards the southwest. So this storm is really intensifying here and really strengthening up. Again, in an area that is not been touched by the showers and thunderstorms so far. So potential tornado on the ground. Let's go back in, look at the velocity.
That has been confirmed that the tornado is on the ground. I'm just going to go ahead and read the exact verbiage of what we're getting from the National Weather Service, just so you can understand that this tornado has been confirmed on the ground by radar right now. The exact verbiage from the National Weather Service is going to be a tornado is on the ground. Take cover now to move to your basement or most interior room of your lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows if you're outdoors, a mobile home, or in a vehicle. Get to the closest shelter that you can get to. So again, this has been confirmed by radar right now. We do have a tornado on the ground in southern Flore County. This is going to continue to track, like we just showed you, further into Flore County. We might see this pulse up and down, might be get a little bit weaker, but right now, currently, if you're in southern Flore County, it's It's time to find that place where you go during severe weather, the lowest, most interior spot in your home. It's time to get away from those windows and get to your safe spot. You see that lightning signature that we're getting right now. We are getting a ton of lightning right now involved in that tornado warning. We'll continue to see if this pushes through. It's only 6 o'clock right now. This tornado warning is going on for another 30 minutes, so it will be trimmed up by the time we get towards then.
Okay, yeah, and let's go back into it again. What I want to do, Stephen, heads up to you, is eventually let's look in here, let's pause it. We'll do where we kind of track back a little bit, because you can see this is a potentially strong tornado right here. It's a large area of rotation. This is going to be it right here. You've got strong inflow coming in. You've got the winds wrapping around. This is our tornado. It's crossed I-40 or Highway 144. Let's keep our hand right here. Let's go to CC. Let's put the correlation coefficient. This is a way that we can use radar to look for debris. Right there, right where I had my hand, right with the circulation. That is potentially a big area, big debris field being picked up. Let's go ahead, say that again, Morgan.
We're gonna get the time track going.
Okay, yeah, let's get the time track, and I'll keep my hand right here. This is where the tornado currently is. And sometimes we have the hooks like we did earlier today with the storm in Sequoia County. We had the hook. You could see that classic textbook supercell. Other times it's like this. Doesn't necessarily look like a tornado on radar. This tornado is rain wrapped. It is back in the rain, and it is a heavy, heavy, thick curtain of rain back here. You're not going to see this tornado. This tornado is hidden back behind it in the rain. It is moving to the northeast. Heads up to you. Ludlow, you already need to be in your safe place. This tornado is just to your west, if not right on the west side of town. Lennox 614 at 6:03 right now. You've got 11 minutes. And again, these radar scans are a couple minutes behind, so you even got less than 10 minutes. Heads up to you. Zoe, you're just outside the tornado warning, but this is a confirmed tornado on the ground, southwestern Flore County, heading northeast, 50 miles per hour. It's hidden in rain. You don't have a lot of time here. Go ahead, start making your plans right now. Center part of your home. You don't want to be in mobile homes. You don't want to be on upper floors of apartments. You've got a couple minutes, if you're in Zoe, to get out of your mobile home, get to a neighbor's house, get off that top floor of the apartment and get into the lower level. Again, we're tracking the storm moving off towards the northeast. It is right here in southwestern Flore County. Tornado is on the ground. And let's go back in real quick, and let's see if we can get the latest on some debris field.
1 second, Zach.
Yeah, no problem. Again, we have a confirmed tornado on the ground. This storm has a history of producing tornadoes all the way back down into North Texas, across southeastern Oklahoma, and it is going to continue to track right now across Flore County. Circulation may end up staying.
Confirmed tornado northeast of Honubby. That's going to be moving 50 miles per hour towards the northeast.
Okay, 50 miles per hour to the northeast, Honubby.
Honubby.
All right, we can zoom in. Let's show people where that is.
Let's southern Flore County. Right there.
Yep. Okay. Well, I think, and two, I think the tornado is just to the, yeah, there we go.
Northeast.
Yeah, it's to the northeast. So
it's got to be that signature right there.
I know these are small communities, but it may have taken a direct hit. Certainly went right between Ludlow and Honubby. This is a large, potentially violent tornado on the ground. Keeping my hand here, again, we can go back and look at the debris signature, and it fires up right over the rotation. So this is an area of potential debris being lofted up in the air. So the radar is scanning out, and it's hitting this red saying, okay, those are typical raindrops. That's typical precipitation, maybe even some hail in there. What we're seeing right here, the radar saying that's not typical precipitation. Those are trees, those are potentially buildings, things of that nature. So we'll continue to track this. If you really want to know where your tornado is, this is what you start to follow. You track this out. So zoom out a little bit. What is this community right here? Muse. So heads up to Muse, could be taking a direct hit. This tornado, if it stays on the ground, is going to be tracking right towards you. And then again, it's going to continue to go a little bit more off this way if we can. Muse around 619. It's 6:05 right now, so we don't have a whole lot of time. Looks like we got a radar update. Let's check out. Again, some of these big thunderstorms, once they get this debris lofted, the wind field could scatter it out a long ways. Here we go, Muse around 618, and then Winding Star Mountain National Recreation Area, 623. Again, this is rural area. I've driven through these parts of the Ouachita's. Again, we want to make sure even the smallest community in Five Country is taken care of. But heads up, this storm is going to continue across Flore County, and that puts Sebastian County next. Let's do velocity. Let's look at velocity from this angle. All right, there we go. So big inflow right there, tornado wrapping around. Now zoom out just a little bit if we can here, Stephen. And I want to see again, Van Buren, Fort Smith, you're just off towards the north. There's Heavener, there's Poto. This circulation is going to stay just to the south of you in Poto, but it could certainly be tracking towards Heavener. It's going to be very close. Heavener heads up to you. You need to be in your safe place. You need to be making those tornado plans right now. You need to be in the most middle part of your home, your office building, wherever you are, and you need to get out of those mobile homes because this circulation is heading your way. Cosner 630, Hodgen around 635, and this is going to be tracking towards this is Scott County.
Yeah, that's right over that signature right there. If it continues to move up southeast at 50 miles an hour like we're talking about, these are the communities that could be impacted pretty soon if this stays together.
Yeah, absolutely, and there's no reason to think it's not going to stay together. Now, we talked about earlier, these storms, they cycle, they pulse up and down, so you can get a tornado to form. It can stay on the ground. I mean, tornadoes can stay on the ground for a few minutes, for 30 minutes, for a couple of hours, but at some point they usually do cycle. So it either cycles out and reforms a new one, or it just stays on the ground. We're going to track it no matter what. Again, I expect that they'll issue an extension of this tornado warning pretty soon, as again, it is moving pretty quick. It doesn't look like it too much on radar. You're not sitting here screaming classic supercell, but we have a very violent storm moving through southern Flore County, and it is going to be tracking off towards the northeast. I think it's going to stay to the west of Waldron right now. You can put it in motion for us, Stephen, if you will, so we can see. It's tracking off towards the northeast around 50 miles per hour. I think this particular storm is going to stay to the west of Waldron. We'll have to watch it. Sometimes storms, as they really start to strengthen up, they'll start to turn a little bit more to the east. So we're not out of the woods yet. We'll continue to watch certainly western portions of Scott County, but definitely eastern, central portions of Flore County. All of Flore County heads up. Poto, the storm may pass. The rotation may stay just to your south, but you're still going to get, again, look at that right there. You see it wrapping up? It's wrapping up. I mean, this is likely, again, maybe a violent tornado on the ground down here. Certainly has some very strong rotation with it, some very strong low-level rotation. Even if this tornado is pulsing up and down, you see that little notch right there. So we're looking at, again, strong inflow coming in, starting to get a little bit more of that hook, moving through southern Flore County, heading off towards the northeast. I want everyone in Flore County from Heavener, southeast of Poto, to get into your tornado safe place right now. As many walls between you and the outside as you can. You have a heads up. Western Scott County, definitely in parts of Sebastian County, this storm is tracking your way. Heads up to you, we do have scattered showers and thunderstorms right now in Benton, Washington, Madison, Carroll counties. We have not forgotten about you. We're tracking these storms. You definitely have some gusty winds out there. We're watching, let's check out some of these storms maybe going through Adair County. If you can put velocity on, let's see if there's any strong winds here. They're definitely strong winds. Yeah, we've got gusty winds out there. I'm not seeing anything tightening up right now. What is this? Let's go back down towards Greasy. We may have to watch this a little bit. Maybe a little gust front, some straight line winds cutting across Adair County. This is how it started with the Sequoia County. You remember that, Stephen?
Yep.
Started out, looked just like this, starts to rotate. Any of these storms could rotate, so we'll want to keep an eye on this one. If there was a storm that I was concerned about moving into northwest Arkansas, it'd likely be this area of rotation. Let's look at reflectivity and see how it looks. Yeah. So, I mean, you've got a thunderstorm here, maybe a little bit of a notch trying to get going. We'll watch that. Again, this is Adair County, nothing confirmed here, but we've seen it start like this multiple times and then continue to spin. There's a lot of rotation and spin in the atmosphere, so we'll have to watch any of these storms try to start taking off. Messy from Fort Smith, Van Buren, Sequoia County. We see that. Those thunderstorms right now, they're behaving. This is the one that we're most concerned with. Looks like they're redrawing the tornado warning. Are they changing the speed at all?
I'm checking right now to see if I can get the...
It takes a second for it to pop up as well. If you use the chat over on the monitor to the right and you click on the new warning update, it'll drop a little box in there for you. It might be easier sometimes.
Looks like we have the same verbiage as earlier. It's a severe thunderstorm with strong low-level rotation that could produce a tornado at any time. So possibly that tornado signature that we saw, that confirmed tornado on the ground by radar, could have lifted up just a bit, but we're still getting really that low-level strong winds right now.
Yeah, and I see that. Let's go back to velocity. And I'll let you play it out a little bit, and I think you'll see it here. It may be cycling, so it may have kind of spun itself out. See, it's a little bit messier. You still have the winds coming in, winds going to the radar. So the blue and the green, these are strong winds, by the way, especially when you go from green to light blue to dark blue. Those are very strong winds. The radar's here to the northeast, so you have winds moving towards the radar. Where you get the red, that's winds going away from the radar. So that shows us right here that we have that rotation. That's what the warning's for, low level, strong rotation. You can see the spin. You see the spin there?
Yep.
I mean, this storm is absolutely rotating, and it's rotating very quickly here, which, again, is why we have to continue to watch it, because with this kind of low-level rotation, I mean, it can absolutely produce another tornado at any moment.
We're getting towards the end of this warning. So we'll see, again, these communities further into central Flore County, Poto, Heavener, we could be seeing this tornado warning continuing to push further up into central Flore County. And then we could even see it cross over across the state line into Arkansas. So again, it's like Zach and I have been mentioning, we've seen this signature for what? 10 minutes. It's been around for a while, so we're going to need to continue to remind you that this storm, while it may be slowing just a bit by the time based off what we're looking at on the radar signature, but still, we're still having this tornado warning active.
It just produced a tornado. That's confirmed. That's not radar indicated. It just produced a tornado, which for at least 10, 15 minutes could have been a violent tornado here in southwestern Flore County. This storm is going to continue to move off towards the northeast. Look, there's no rain out here. The radar isn't turned on over here and then turned off to the east. There's no rain. So this is a warm, muggy, untapped atmosphere. We'll have to watch this storm. You got to watch the other notches to the south. Any of these storms in here, we'll have to watch those for little areas of spin. Again, we're watching that storm to the west of Washington County now, moving through Adair County for possible gusty winds. Some strong winds right there, too, pushing into northwestern Flore County. So you got some strong winds coming into Spiro, Highway 59. This is one area that may have seen a brief tornado about an hour or so ago with a tornado-warned storm that pushed through LaFleur and Sequoia County. So you've still got more rain coming through. And then again, where you go from the reds to the pinks to the more orange color, you're getting some strong winds. We're looking a little bit higher up in these thunderstorms, but there's a good bet that these gusty winds, at least 40, 50 miles per hour, are probably rushing out to the surface a little bit. If we think that we've got 60 to 70 mile per hour winds definitely reaching the ground, or we have some confirmed wind speeds from any of the weather stations at the airports, then that's when we'll get one of those severe warnings. Right now, we haven't had any confirmed strong winds reaching the surface, but definitely windy, very rainy. If you don't have to be out, don't be out across northwest Arkansas or the River Valley for the next couple of hours. These storms are nasty, they're dangerous, they're the real deal. They're working through. And let's go ahead and look at this one more time.
Heavener, there's some talk in the chat right now to check out Heavener again. There might be some.
Though? You see, we were just talking about this storm. You see how it has a little bit more of a, instead of just straight, you remember when it was just straight vertical?
Now we're starting to get a little bit of
a spin to it. This would be the next area. If the National Weather Service comes out with a new tornado warning anytime soon, this is the area that I would expect it to be. If it continues to turn like that.
Let's get a track going on that just so we can.
Yeah, because definitely some strong winds at the very least. This is a serious storm here. This is moving northeast. This is Adair County, Sequoia County. This is Washington County. So this storm is moving to the northeast. So we'll have to track it out. Again, it starts moving to Washington County, Farmington, Fayetteville, down the line. But for Cherry Tree, this is in eastern Oklahoma, 620. Bell School, 626. Dutch Mills, 637. Area of rotation that we're watching. Nothing confirmed, not even a warning out on it yet, but it's something that definitely has our attention, and we've been watching it evolve just in the last couple of scans. So that's the next area that you may even see the chat start, National Weather Service start talking about it soon. What were you saying about Heavener?
Let's get down to Heavener. Can't really tell on right there, but looks like we still got some rotation over there across Muse, but
some strong winds. It's a little messy looking. It's broad, maybe a little bit more broader now. There's your inflow notch. So you have the strong winds coming in on the backside, rain-cooled air rushing in on the backside. You've got your spin. This is your mesocyclone right here. So this is your area of rotation at the base of this thunderstorm. This is all lifting off towards the northeast. So if there was going to be a tornado, at the very least some strong winds, it would be right over Muse right now, heading off towards the northeast of Zoe. I mean, this is the exact track we've been tracking for the last 15, 20 minutes. Are you seeing something new
We're
there?
seeing potentially rotating wall clouds outside Heavener. This is by spotters, 65-mile-an-hour wind gusts. We're seeing a lot of, I'm looking on this monitor, we're seeing the Bacola iCam that we have, and we are seeing a ton of lightning right now. So we'll keep our eye on that. But we could see some rotation just outside of Heavener. It looks like there's trees
Heavener's to
broken.
the north, right?
Broken.